So we'll click the record button and say, good evening, everybody. I've not said hi, everybody, individually, as I normally do when you come on. Hi, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday webinar. Tonight, we were going to be talking about the online side of the business, partly because the lockdown rule changed, but as normal with Viva MK distributors, they get they get very improvising. Somebody wants to get in, their name's upside down. They're very enterprising and calling round their catalogue customers. And I know Janet's not on just now, but probably most of you seen the story in the Viva MK group where she sold over £1,000 in a day, to which I think the total was 99 customers. And she called them all.
Did they depress
Called them all first, just so she knows, and she reckons that is a lot to do with that result. But tonight, online is a massive part of our business. You go back 2 or 3 years ago, or maybe even 10 years ago, probably more. It was probably never even in any business, but now it's a massive part. And we're very fortunate tonight. Louise is going to help us because in Viva MK, Louise and team are definitely one of the leaders on the online side of the business. I would say the most successful online team in Viva MK is Louise and her team. Thank you, Michael. Quite rightly so. And so, Louise, will I make you host, or were we just chatting about it?
I've got a couple of slides done, so
excellent. So what I'll do is I'll make you host. Now when I make you host, you're just going to keep an eye on the latecomers. See, it's even slow to do this. My laptop is so in the habit of doing things I didn't want it to do at the wrong times, and I've managed to get on. Right, make host. James Louise. What I will say is if everybody could mute yourself, Louise will unmute you at the end. It's just for the recording, so there's no any background noise. And that's you now, host Louise. Over to Louise.
I haven't got the bar at the top though to share anything. Oh yeah, wait a minute, hang on. There we go. Right. Right, can you see my screen now? Yeah? Forgetting you're all on mute there, I'm waiting on you all going, I can. Oh dear, what a day. Right, okay. So we're going to just chat briefly. It's very short, there's only 4 slides because I didn't want to do too much at once. I just thought we would cover it very, very briefly because it's quite easy, to be honest with you. And it's very much a matter of when you know the basics, you go in and you have a play about with it. That's the best thing I truly believe for you to do. So, and plus I wanted to keep it short and give you the opportunity to ask lots of questions at the end, because if you've not got any questions to ask, then I've done something wrong, put it that way. So, first up, your Facebook stories stay visible for 24 hours. So at any point during that 24 hours, somebody can view your story. Now you can share pictures, you can share videos, you can share your Facebook posts to your story. You can share, if you've got a public Facebook page for the business, you can share that to your story. You've also got the ability to add text, music, there's stickers as well you can add to a story, and then like your emojis and stuff. You can also create a poll on your stories, which is really quite useful as well, especially for business. Now, I do apologise, it is just quick screenshots, but it was the easiest way to actually let you see. So the first post here, I'm assuming that you all know where your stories are. I don't know if any of you regularly watch stories, but they are fast becoming, well, they are actually at the moment more popular than people sitting scrolling down through their news feed. They're right at the top for anybody logging in, whether you're on the PC or whether you're on your phone. They're right along the top of the screen, so that dead in your eye line, and it's prime viewing basically. So as you can see here where my picture is, and it says like create a story, and then because I've got stories up, my story is the first in the line, and then it goes along in order of your friends in order of most recent, whoever's posted most recently. Now, to create a story, you simply just click where it says create story. The next slide shows you just one I did on the mascara. Now, all I did was add a picture. I added the text through the story, okay? The viewers part at the bottom where it says there are 63 viewers, only you can see that. Nobody else can see how many viewers your story's had. Nobody else can see who's viewed your story or who has reacted to your story. A story reaction, if you look through stories, it'll let you react at the very bottom of the screen. You can send like on Facebook, you can send a like, you can send a love heart, or you can send somebody a comment. And you are only sending it privately to the poster themselves. Now, above where I've got the mascara and £6, you'll see there's 6 little lines. Each little line represents one story. So you can do as many as you want, really. Well, there is a limit. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is. I think it's 20 something stories that you can do in any 24-hour period. Obviously, the more you do, the more I suggest you put variety in there. Because if you just stick up product after product after product, you'll see for yourselves when you look at your viewers, it'll get less and less and less because people will just switch off occasionally. So break it up. Do some product posts, do some personal posts if you want to. It doesn't have to be too personal, but like, you know, I'll stick a photo up of the dog or whatever else, or you might want to stick up something that you've baked or cooked that day. You can even break it up by doing a little poll or something like that. Put a funny post up, a wee interaction post, well, what we would call interaction post, but it might be quite funny. The next slide with the bath bombs was just to give you an idea of a different sort of look. That's just an edited picture, obviously, that I've used in my group, and I've just put that onto the story. I haven't used the actual story app to add anything to that image at all. I've not used any text. I've not used any stickers. There's no music. Obviously, you could tell that from the slides, but it was just to give you a little variation. Now, on the next slide, when you click on create story, your screen will look like this first one here with the text, the music, the boomerang, and then as you scroll along, it gives you an option if you want to just take a selfie, and there's a couple of other options as well. So if, for example, you want to create a story that is just text, no image whatsoever, click on the text and it opens up as the middle picture here. And as you can see, it gives you a selection of backgrounds that you can use. So you can tap on each one to change the background. And the Valentine's Day one here at the end, I just did this earlier tonight when I was taking these images. I've obviously just typed that in myself. You can change your font as well. Once you've selected the backing for it there, it'll let you go through about 6 different fonts that you can use as well. So what I've done after I've posted that Valentine's to my story, I've then done about maybe 4 or 5 stories after that, showcasing the Valentine's products that we released today. Okay, and in them I've used a little bit of text, such as like, you know, personalised coaster. I haven't put any prices on them whatsoever, purely because you just want to generate interest just now. People might not be quite thinking of Valentine's Day quite yet, but you're planting that wee seed. And by not putting prices on all the time, you're encouraging them to come to you and ask the question as well. If you go back along here to the very first picture where I was going on about the text and music, etc., you'll see underneath it gives you the option of, well, these are just quick screenshots that I took, because this is obviously the gallery on my phone with all your photos. So you would just tap on any photo you wanted to use. But the top two there are just little samples of stickers and such that it would let you use. The stickers are quite funny actually, because some of them you can put like today, the day on it. You can just put, like, I think on one of the Valentine's pictures, I used a wee sticker that said cute on it and different things like that. It just changes it up a wee bit, it catches people's eye. But if you are not using your stories, you're really missing out a valuable tool, because by using your stories, you could be reaching people that are not in your group. You could be reaching people that come onto Facebook and don't actually scroll down their newsfeed at all. All they might do is click on the first story and let it play, because the stories will play automatically. So once you get to the end of mine, it'll go on to the next person on your friends list. So for example, like if Lynn was to click on my story, our next lot of stories might be Kate, and then it might be, say, Claire, etc., etc. It plays like a video. It just rolls from one to the next to the next, but you can just come out of it at any time. You don't have to watch everybody's stories if you don't want to. But it is a very, very popular way, because it's more like people that use Instagram, people that use Snapchat, things like that. It's very, very popular, really. Now, that's all the slides that I've got done. Because I did them very last minute tonight, and I've not had a very great day. So I'm going to just let you ask questions if you want to, about your stories, if I can find it how to unmute you all. And maybe is I just
I've unmuted myself. Do you want to take the slides away, or do you just want the slides there so we can see Louise and we can ask questions?
I'm gonna take them away.
Excellent. We can always revisit them if anybody wants to see them again. You can, if I think you can unmute yourself, the host mute you. Thanks very much, Louise. It was last minute, and I was meant to meet her at 20 online, so I do apologise about that. I know I had loads of questions that I've asked Louise, but I'll put it open to you guys. I know it sounds like something really simplistic, but it actually is. Anybody got questions?
Yeah, I've got some, but I don't want to hog the show. The first question I've got is when you talked about the story obviously lasts for 24 hours, and obviously I've seen, because since the last time we talked about this, I've been trying to do a couple every day, and the reactions and the messages and everything are coming through. So the story lasts for 24 hours, but the reactions to the message, to the story, do they stay on your messenger permanently?
Yeah.
They don't disappear in 24 hours, right?
No.
That's great. Okay. And the next question I've got is, anytime I've tried to do a picture and write some text over it on the story, it kind of obliterates the whole picture. So can you shift that about?
Yeah, basically just on the screen where you've, after you typed it in, once you've finished, you can sort of just, like, as you would on your phone, like I'm moving my fingers like that.
So you can just kind of grab it and move it about.
And slide it up or move the picture down a bit like that.
Yeah, I found that, and so I didn't use the text. Then one day I finished the sentence I was writing, and when I finished the sentence, a wee box appears that you can just slide.
Right. Oh, that's good to know, because I cancelled a couple of stories a few times because I thought what I've written on top of this picture isn't going to make sense because it's obliterating the picture. Do you know what I mean? So I thought I was writing a kind of a caption on the picture, but I was obliterating the picture and I didn't realise you could move it about. So that's good to know.
Yeah. The other thing actually I was going to sort of mention as well was, because I said this to Lynn last night, If you, obviously it's entirely up to you what time you've got in the day, how you intend to run it, sort of thing. But say you come on first thing in the morning and you whack on 10 stories and you think, right, that's it, I've done it for the day. That's fine, absolutely fine. But my tip would be to add more throughout the day rather than banging on a whole lot in one go, because obviously, like I said, it goes by most recent on the friends list along the top. So if you add more to it, if you put some up, say at 8 in the morning, you add more at 2 in the afternoon, 7 o'clock at night, whatever, you're keeping your story slide fresh, if you like to the, you know, without it being 20 to 30 along somebody's friend sort of thing. So I would recommend trying to just do odd ones here and there rather than whacking on a lot at once if you can. You might not work it like that every day, and that's fine, but that was just a wee tip. So.
Before anybody else, I will say that I did. Louise was really adamant about the stories. Like she'd been saying, this we really need to like do this training on the stories. It really works, and I did go and research it. And you know, the people, I know we learn by doing, which is why Louise's online team have learned this, because they learn it by doing. But on Facebook, like when you research it, they are saying that stories are one of the ways to go forward. You know, with your Facebook, if you're not using stories, you're not getting full advantage. But also because of the algorithms that keep changing all the time, and for new people, algorithms is basically the name for Facebook cookies that keep an eye on what you do and try to stop us doing things for free, like free advertising. So they change it around all the time. And if you, it is one of the ways of getting your business out there that's totally acceptable with Facebook and the algorithms and promoting your pages and your groups. Has anybody got a question? I feel bad I've not said hi properly, everybody.
I have, it's Jane. Louise, can you tell me, how can you view your stories, or can you view your stories?
Your own stories?
Yes.
Yes, you can. Basically, just at the top, that sort of middle slide that I had there, where it showed you, you know, it shows as your profile picture, and you can create a story. So if you've got stories up already, your stories will be the first in the feed after that sort of thing. So you can just click on your own one and it'll just run through them as if you were like just somebody else viewing them. The only difference being you will see the number of viewers at the bottom.
No.
And if you click on the viewers, like say it had 60 viewers or whatever, it will let you actually scroll down and you can see exactly who's viewed it. And what's really quite interesting, actually, I didn't look at my viewers a lot, to be honest, but when I do, a lot of the people that are viewing my stories are people that never engage on a Facebook post. If I put up a post, they never engage even as much as I like, but yet they watch stories. So, you know, that proves the whole point that you're reaching another. They might only watch stories on Facebook, that's the thing. And I think just now, because of lockdown and stuff, I think stories have become a lot more popular because more people are online during the day than they maybe would be before. And that's the first thing that they're seeing, especially on a mobile phone, when they come on, is the stories. But I mean, you can do live videos on your stories.
Or recorded ones. Yeah,
you can. Yeah, or recorded ones. You could do.
Do you know what the time limit is, Louise? Maybe short videos, is it? No.
Well, I'm not sure because I haven't done like a video myself on it. But I'm assuming from the way it's working, it's going to be like Instagram, which breaks it. You can put a maximum of a minute on, but it breaks it into like 15 seconds, segments. So, if you're any longer than a minute, which to be honest, you probably don't really want to be, because for people's attention span,
If you've clicked it, if you're watching people's stories and the next person's story comes on after so many seconds, if you've actually clicked on a particular person's story, will it stay there till you finish with it? or does it keep rolling on? You've got to go
There's a
back to
wee
the one
bar,
you were
it's
wanting to
slow,
watch.
there's a wee bar that goes along the top, and once it goes for, it's just a wee bar, it goes for the beginning and the end, doesn't it? And then
All right, so you could rewind that. Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, but like if you click onto like say my story, it'll take you through however many I've put up that day. So if I've got 10 up,
Right.
it'll let
Yep.
you watch all 10 of mine, and then it'll scroll on to the next person on the reel.
Right,
thing,
okay, yep.
and it'll take you through all of theirs. The other interesting thing you could do is like, because it works really, really well on Instagram, is if you put up, say, a product post, you don't have to put any text whatsoever, but you can use the little, there's like little stickers for like, say, yes and no, and people just tap the yes or no. I think I did it with you, Kate, the other night when I put something up, and you sent me a love heart reaction, and I said to you, go and react on the poll, and you were like, what poll?
Right.
What have I got to do now?
That's right, you did, yeah.
No, so you could just put like yes or no, and people will tap for yes if they like it, and no if they don't.
Right.
And obviously that's for you, that's generating whether maybe something's popular or not, but it's getting that interaction again. It's getting the engagement on your stories, which is what you want. And people will, if you put something up like that, or you can do another one that's like a little happy face, like, and they slide it along to the top if they really love it, sort of thing. If they're maybe not sure, they might decide to just slide it halfway. They will react with things like that before they'll send you an actual reaction. So if you put things up like that for them to automatically react with, people will engage with that before they would think actually sending you a comment or sending you a reaction. So we can use it to an advantage for selling. Another one you could do is you can do it. You could put a product up, say that wee butterfly double tea light holder, for example, because that's been my bestseller this week. So I could put a picture of that up, and I could put a wee text box that says price please in one, or no thanks in the other. And it just lets them click it, and if they react with price please, then obviously you would message back and give them the price.
I like that one.
Right.
Yeah.
That one.
So you can do the same with your recruitment sponsoring slide. You could put something up for sponsoring, and you could put more info or no thanks, and just let them tap it.
Brilliant. Yep.
And then obviously when you're replying with more info again, you're not just going to totally bombard them, you're going to just drip feed it kind of thing. But you could have a whole wee segment of stories like that, so that you were asking little short questions, but you're getting the engagement, and then you're getting a chance to reply to people. Do you know what I mean? Because you're going to get a lot more engagement from a sponsoring post like that than you are from putting it on your sponsoring page, for example.
You do get a lot of reactions to post like through the stories, didn't you? You can see loads of people look at them. You get loads of likes, loves. I don't think I've had that. I think I've maybe had one message in my inbox that it was just like it was a wee love heart, or it was a word, because the wee love hearts you can see them. I suppose if you're not looking at the person who's liked it in Messenger, you're not going to see the wee love heart. You have to look down the list, don't you?
Yeah.
But the other interesting thing is you can post as your page.
Yes.
So you post as your page.
Now I tried that earlier on today, because you had said that the other night, and I couldn't see quite how to do it. I was on my page. I had just put a post for a product on my page, and I thought that would be a good one to try the story. So I clicked to share on my page. I clicked to share the post, and I could only see that it was going to go either on my timeline, or I could choose a group to put it on.
I don't do it by sharing it.
Right.
What you do is you do it by posting it as like Lynn Mack's online parties, or your name of your, Tom and Kate.
I was on my page and I had posted. I was actually.
You go on your page, okay? Because I actually looked into it as well, because I had asked. You go on your page, and then you just you go like, there's my page, one of my pages. You just scroll down. You just scroll down, and where you put a post, one of the this one is not showing me. That must be my group.
No, if you're on,
I'm in my group. It doesn't do it in a group. It only does it in a page.
Aye, it'll no work from a group. But if you're on your page, you just click share, and it gives you the option right there to share to story.
Right.
And is that sharing? I can't really see that too clearly because.
No,
So am I sharing the page or is this to be able to share a post?
you've got to be on your public page, not your
Yes.
group.
No, I know that. I've got that. Hang on.
It's hard to see a mobile phone screen, but if you actually see where it says create post, right below that, there's a little box that says create story on your page.
Aye, but if you've already posted, which is the easiest way to do it, if you're posting to your page, then you've got like, comment, and share at the bottom of your
Right.
public post.
Aye, that's the way I was trying to do it.
You hit share and it'll say write post, share to story, share to a group, share to a page, and then more options.
Oh, right, okay, right, I'll try it again then.
So you should just click share to story and it'll go on right away.
So if you share it as your page, it draws.
Right, I'm doing it. I'm just doing it just now, Louise, and I'll take a screenshot and send it later because I don't want to, as I say, I don't want to hog the whole thing. But all I've got when I click share is a wee button that comes up that says write
You
post
can ask
or
the
more
question though, is
options.
the post you're trying to share in the group, in your page that you're trying to
on
share?
the page.
Right.
But all I'm getting is write post or more options.
Well, why don't you just do a new post and just create a story?
Mine gives me
I've taken a screenshot now, Louise, and I'll send you it later.
aye, okay. But
On mine, I just go to the page, I just go to my page, and at the top of my page is my cover. Then there's send message, and then there's create post, your normal wee box for creating post. And in that create post where you normally get a wee box that says photo, it says photo, create story, or like. So if you can't find the way of sharing it, Kate, just repost it as a story.
Right. Okay.
That's what I would kind of say.
That's fine. But
Louise,
you know, the way I was understanding it, that seems to be correct as well, is that if you had a post there already, you should be able to then share that to a story as well. But aye. So anyway, I'll shut up because other people have questions too.
It takes you seconds to post a story. You know, and you didn't have to think about anything like hashtags and stuff or a lot of wording like you would put in your group if you were doing a product description and stuff. Literally, you can just do the pictures. You didn't have to do a lot of text and stuff because those pictures are going to catch people's eye as well. And just to react to the picture whether they like it or not. So if you aren't using them either for selling or for recruiting, I really recommend you try it. I really do, because the exposure is pretty much unreal.
And what I would actually recommend is go on Google and use Facebook stories for my business, and I'll give you all the benefits that Louise has just shared with you tonight. Do you know what I mean? And the bit I got excited about is the fact that you can share it as your page, and it draws traffic to your page, because the things that I Google, just as I'm telling people, Google there, Louise was saying, it's one of the things that we can still safely do on Facebook. That the algorithms don't stop us, where we can promote our business and draw people, because quite often what happens if they see Louise's post, they might click on Louise's profile. So if it's came for your page, they've seen your page.
That's right.
Sorry, go on.
Share it as your page. Like I think the day I've shared one for the Shakes page, and then I've shared one for my Louise's Little Luxuries page. So if they're interested in that post, they'll click on it on your stories. They'll click the image, and that takes them to your page. That takes them to the actual post on your page. So then your page is getting the engagement as well from it. So that obviously works in your favour. So you're getting 2 hits there right away, your story engagement and your page engagement. That's why I use it a lot and I share my posts from the Louise's Little Luxuries page, but also the sponsoring page that I've got, the Join VBMK page as well.
But think about the possibilities, because I mean, if you put a sponsoring post, and as Louise says, I definitely would put variety there. It's like everything else we do on Facebook, maybe 1 or 2 products, the rest other things. Do you know what I mean? Same with the sponsoring post. I love the fact that they can click on and that takes them to your page with all your other products on it. But also, let's say it was a sponsoring post, and you get 10 people liking it, and they're not in your Viva MK business, because a lot of people that like it might be me or Kate or Louise, do you know what I mean? So, and they're not in Viva MK, there's nothing to stop you, because it comes into your messenger box, remember? So that means they've, in effect, they have messaged you. And if it's nothing's to stop you, and I don't know if you've done this, Louise, saying thanks very much for the like.
No, I don't do that, Lynn.
No, I'm being sarcastic though. She
but
didn't notice that I'm being sarcastic with me.
but it does give you the option to invite them to your page if they didn't already like your page as well, which is quite good.
Oh.
Comes up, there'll be a button and it goes like it'll say Lynn McDonald liked your post, invite her to like your page, and you just invite, and then they get an automatic invite. And every time I've done that, they've always liked my page after it, because it tells you, it'll say so and so liked your page.
Oh, excellent.
So it's quite good.
Louise, have you used any of the scheduling apps for your stories? Because there are some which are available, but I don't know how the bots work in them or otherwise.
I've not used them on Facebook. I've used them on Instagram.
Yeah.
But to be honest, it was more hassle than it was worth.
Really?
It took me longer to do that and schedule them than it would to just go onto the story and post it myself. And also, I did hear on Instagram that a lot of the accounts that were using the scheduling apps weren't getting as much engagement wise.
That's what I was asking, because it's so often it'll close accounts down.
That's right.
I'm anxious of using it, but if you'd used it, I might risk it.
There's been quite a few accounts of late closed down on Instagram just completely, and I do think that's maybe why, because they're all business accounts.
Right.
And I think if they're just constantly using scheduling apps, which they sound quite good especially if you're busy, and a lot of them are maybe running shops as well as like their social media channels, so that's maybe why they're using them, because they can sit at night and schedule for the next day, like we could do in our Facebook groups, for example. But you've got to think of it from the social media point of view. The social word's there for a reason, and if you're just scheduling all the time, you're not being social with anybody, because your posts are going on because you've scheduled them, but you're not engaging with anybody at all on that app. So you're not going to get the engagement. You're not going to get it back, if you see what I mean.
I was always told to have 15 minutes after you post anything to reply, and you can't do it with a bot, obviously. It's just not work.
That's right. I mean,
the quicker you can respond, the better, as well. But if you can't, what used to, I mean, clearly Facebook's been allowing more scheduled posts, but in the past, scheduled posts did quite often lead to a ban, because the algorithm can pick up that somebody just schedule. Well, so you have to be careful.
The funny thing is, though, with scheduled posts, that just the other day, was it Sunday, Claire, both Claire and Owen had posted into their group, and none of them appeared.
I remember you saying that.
I was like that yesterday.
Was it?
I was the same yesterday. Aye.
Was it yesterday, Claire, or was it?
Yeah, all the ones yesterday never appeared.
Right.
I was the same.
Yeah, and then I tested one about 2:30 today, but the ones that I have put up today, I have done manually, just in case it was helpful to do manual rather than schedule. But my wee tester one came up, so I'll put some schedules on tomorrow and see.
Maybe try and mix it up for a wee while rather than just doing.
And the question I asked Louise was, if people are liking or loving and commenting on your post, to me, I'm hoping it's correct, but if it runs by the same as all the other Facebook rules, that interaction on your stories will help your Facebook reach. So just, I know I've asked you that question, but for the audience.
Yeah, it will, without a doubt, because it's still a form of engagement on your profile. And like I say, if you're getting like that, if you've got one story on, for example, and it's got like 60 odd views for like the 15 seconds that it's up there for, that's probably more views when you think about it than a bog standard post on your timeline. Because we all know, like, a lot of people don't see your timeline posts in real time. Do you know what I mean? They might be, because if they're not on, obviously, the app at that time, they're not going to see it. And then Facebook picks and chooses what it shows them, kinds of thing. Like, I mean, I noticed, like, the other night, for example, I think it was yours, Trisha, actually. I'm seeing most of yours at night time for some reason. Like, you know, your good morning one and things like that.
Me too.
Yeah, and I'm on Facebook in the morning because normally when I get into my work, for the first half hour until.
My pal said sometimes she doesn't see my posts until somebody comments on them, and then that's when she sees them. These are not coming up all the time, and she's got notifications on as well.
Well, interestingly enough, though, when I did a wee bit of research again, because, you know, when somebody's one of the top online sellers and they keep on saying, Lynn, we need to do a training on stories, the stories, you think, I'm going to have a wee look into this. You didn't ignore it. And one of the things that I actually said is, gone are the days when, you know, 80 to 90% of people on your page or your groups sees your posts that you're putting in, and it does seem a bit strange with that, because Facebook want people to see stuff and engage, but they've reduced the amount of stuff that you can actually see, and it's on possibly in a way to get you to use certain features that they want you to use, maybe. Do you know what I mean? But here's another thing that I've seen, Louise, that you can actually share for those who use Instagram more for your business. You can share, you can post on your Instagram and share the story on your Facebook page at the same time.
Yeah, that's right. And you can also, it's very easy. It's easier to post on Instagram and share it back to your page than it is to post the other way around on Facebook and share it to Instagram. I mean, you can do it, but you've got to go through the Facebook kind of business centre, and it's a little bit more time consuming, shall we say. Whereas on Instagram, you can just you can put your post up, and if you look down the bottom, it'll say share to Facebook page if you've got your accounts linked, obviously. And if you didn't want to share the post to your Facebook page, it's just a wee slider. Just slide it along, turn it off, or slide it to turn it on. So it's dead quick and easy.
It's a bit daft not to share if it's going to be compatible with your page.
I know.
Well, you know, if you're sharing even something about the wee dog, doesn't matter. That's like that kind of interaction going on to our pages or groups, because it's so we're not just product, business, product. But the sponsoring as well. You know, the fact that they can put ask info, or the buying the products, ask for the price, that really interests me now. So maybe question I would ask is maybe go through that again, how you do that, because that is really interesting. The polls I like, because people can do yes or no, and if they see something they like, if I seen something I like, I would definitely click ask price. I would definitely click it if I liked it.
What I'll do is I'll put some stories up when we come off of here, with those little questions and polls on them.
Thank you.
And I'll screenshot them and I'll put them up in the Rhino group with like a little explanation for people. But the best way would probably be go onto my stories and view them and just react to the post as well, because if you're not doing it, it'll get you used to it and that as well.
And then it'd be embarrassed about liking all our posts and that now, because sometimes I go like, and I thought I better stop doing that. I'm loving everybody's, and now I've realised, that's the benefit. That's the benefit.
But you know what else is really interesting? Actually, I was thinking about, you know how we do online parties. you could do a story party. So, you know, you could still pick your day and your time. You could still advertise it in your group to your customers on your page. But for that half hour or hour that you're going to do, an hour might be a bit long for a story party, I don't know. But you could just post the products onto your story with your offers on and have a story party that way rather than having it as an event in your group.
Oh,
it's worthwhile we having the wee go at that. It's
even
interesting.
Cookie likes that idea.
Cookie likes it. She just told me the day that.
No, look, he's right here.
Cookie's right, and he, by the way, is a psycho.
I've just put a picture up in the group there. He's been lying with his chin on the keyboard the whole time, and I've got my notebook on top of him to write notes.
For those that don't know Cookie, Sally, hiya, by the way. I didn't get a chance to say hiya. Welcome to your first VVMK and A-Team Rhino Group webinar, Zoom. Oh, I've lost you. It seems, I hate that. I speak to somebody, the camera moves in, you appear somewhere else. Well done in joining us. I usually say welcome everybody when I start and say hiya to everybody, but because I was flapping because of a problem, so welcome to your first meeting. And Sally's already had orders really, really quickly, so I wanted to say well done, Sally. Well done. Going right away, got these products onto a group and sold right away. So well done.
Yeah, I really want to get stuck into it.
I can see you're really getting stuck into it. Yeah. I can see the products getting onto that page and what have you. You're doing really, really well. So well done.
Just Lynn, can I just say well done to Sally for putting her first order in within hours of signing online.
Well done. Wow.
Thank you.
Fortunately, that post took 24 hours because that's how long it took for me to actually see that pending post. And I had no idea how that happened, but it was actually right immediately. That's phenomenal. Well done, Sally. And I just wanted to say that while I was remembering because I felt guilty about not being sociable to you all when you joined.
No, you're fine.
Especially being your first meeting. Other questions for Louise? I'm pretty sure it doesn't have to be in Facebook stories. It can be on anything, you know, on the, the online side yet. But the stories definitely, Dave, what I did, go just put in Google how to use Facebook stories for my business, and it'll give you feedback and see why Louise has been going in my ear. I want to do a training on stories. They're really a thing to be going forward with because Facebook, for those that don't know, and hiya Raymond, welcome to the webinar. But for those who don't know how Facebook works, what was I going to start again? For those who are new to using Facebook for business, Facebook obviously they're a business themselves, so they don't really want us to do loads of free advertising. So they control it with their algorithms, and we're only allowed to do a certain amount of stuff, and they change it all the time. They change all the time to just so that we have to be on our toes. And the thing I'm sorry to go on about it, but the thing I love is the fact that you can ask price, more info. I mean, that is really powerful.
And it's only you that sees it because it comes through in Messenger.
Comes through.
Yes,
that's
powerful. Yeah, like a lot of people will click, if it was say a sponsoring post, a lot of people will quite happily click more info than what would, like if you comment on your group and they have to message you or comment, back to you, they'll find it easier to just press the button on the stories and just react that way.
So if you did an info one and somebody liked it that was out with Viva, would you message them? I know we had a wee bit of sarcastic laugh earlier, but because of that, the answer never was clear to the audience.
Yeah, I mean,
if you put VVMK income opportunity and somebody likes it, if that was on a buy or sell group, we would say thanks for liking it if you want more info and stuff. Do you do the same with them then?
Yeah. You could put, that you like the post and
Just say thanks for liking, because that'll be in your messenger for them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
So you can just go, oh, thanks for liking the post. That they've already, if that's a prospect and they've messaged you, you've got all the Facebook barriers about not messaging people you don't know. The fact that they've just sent you a wee love heart or a wee like means that you can message them back and send them a link to information or say, thanks for liking it. Are you working at the moment? And just strike up a conversation.
Yeah.
That's what I like about it. But it's everything in moderation, as always with Facebook. Is there anything else that you've not thought about that you think might interest us?
Like I say, I didn't be put off by it looking maybe more complicated than it is. It's hard to see a lot of it from just wee screenshots like that. But just watch a few stories if you're not in the habit of doing so. Watch them. Play about with yours. You can't do anything wrong. Worst case scenario, you can delete it if need be. But it's just going to give you so much extra engagement that I do think it's a silly opportunity to miss because it's so easy to do. And I am liking the idea, the online party idea, a bit like how a lot of people are having wee secret sales on WhatsApp and stuff like that. I'm not a big WhatsApp fan at all, but we could do the same sort of thing, but using your Facebook stories and stuff like that.
Like some people might not know what the secret sales on WhatsApp are, so
it's basically just like people are setting up they're putting posts on their Facebook groups and saying secret sale over on my WhatsApp.
So they're taking them to Facebook.
If you want the link or something like that, and then they're messaging people with the WhatsApp link, and it's just like a little how you have your Facebook group. It's like your event and Facebook. It's like a little group, and they're banging all their product posts in there for the duration that it's on, and getting sales that way. So just a very, very similar thing to a Facebook event, how we would set up the event. But I think the fact that your stories stay up for 24 hours is good for the online party side of it, because you've seen the trainings that we've done before on the online parties, and we always, although we run them for that hour, we usually still leave them open for a little while longer, whether it be to midnight that night or whether it be to the next day. So but the good thing with your stories is you're not going to have to worry about missing any notifications, which you sometimes get when you have the events set up on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true.
If anybody reacts to one of your stories, it comes right to your inbox.
You see it right away.
You know, so you'll not miss anything that way.
Gosh, anybody? I've got another question. I'm going to let other people talk. Anybody got anything else they want to ask?
I'm just looking at a couple of people's stories while we're talking there, just to see. And I noticed that a couple of people in our team have got polls on. Well done. You've got product ads on. Brilliant. I've just seen that my gym, the gym that I'm normally a member of, and it's not closed due to COVID, they've got some polls on. They've got some polls on, and it's things like, have you been out running this year yet? Yes or no. Are you new to running, or have you been running for years? That's a poll as well. But then there's another one where they've said, what are your favourite running shoes? And there's space to put a reply in as well. So there's all kinds of conversations you can have with stories as well. Obviously, that you can put, they can obviously, you can say you like Nikes or Asics or whatever you like, and that's a different kind of thing that there's a space for the answer on.
It's amazing, because just imagine, like, every post that we put out there, if it was a buy and sell group or the marketplace, which knocked back my sponsoring ad today, but it still went in other groups. But if somebody likes it or even comments on a post, as Kate said, there's sometimes you do miss the notifications. Like Trisha was talking about earlier, her pal says that she doesn't see them until somebody comments, or I don't see them, and I might see Trisha's good morning one 2 days later. I still say good morning. I like it. But I seen her one about the tea and the Prosecco, or the coffee and the Prosecco. No, you love me more.
Right.
The Prosecco one in my house that beat the coffee. That was you, Trisha. that was like 2 days later. Do you know what I mean? So you're not getting them in real time. But the fact that if somebody likes it, loves it, or comments, or does it goes straight to your inbox. That's powerful.
The other thing you could do as well,
sorry?
The other thing you could do as well is put up an image of the catalogue, or even a little video you flicking through the catalogue. Then the little text box that we're saying you could put up, you could put something like, you could have text at the top, want one, and then in the little text box you can put address here, so they can type in their address and it'll come direct privately to your inbox as well.
But do they know that it'll go privately to some folk might think, oh, I'm not putting my address there, everybody will see it on the story.
Well, they might, but a lot of people do know that it is private, aye.
Aye. I'm just some daft folk like me out there will go, oh, have I messaged this? So aye, I like that as well. So I didn't know you could do so much with them. I knew you can put the text, you can do emoticons. I didn't even know you could do a video. But just like you know, Instagram, it's as all these other social media, videos on a lot of platforms are limited. But also just I'll take this time just to tell you that if you know, take advantage of the other feature that Facebook have, which is watch parties for using your videos, and you know, just play, because you can put a video on anything as a watch party and it can be playing away either with products or opportunity while you are doing something else. But it'd be shorter videos. What kind of videos then? Because it would be shorter, wouldn't it? Like just 30 seconds.
I'm actually thinking of doing the next What's in the Box that I do. I might just do it on my stories and see how it goes, see how it turns out, rather than doing it as a live in my group or as a pre-recorded video. I might just do it on my stories just to see what the reach is for a video, because I've never done a video on them before.
How long are you in the box videos normally?
Well, that's what I was thinking. They're normally a wee bit long, some of them, because although the other day I got it down to 3.5 minutes. And I was really
that's quick.
But we didn't have to even choose every single product in the box. We could do the top 3 or the top 5 products or something like that. You could even start your weekly bestseller on your stories. Do you know what I mean? Pick a day every week. And
That's a good idea.
You could do your weekly bestseller, because I've started posting in my group about my bestseller, because like the Highland Coup was my bestseller for 2 weeks running, and then it's been overtaken by the butterfly tea light holder in a week. So I let my group know that way what the bestseller is, and I put it on my Instagram stories actually just the other day. So I might try and do it like pick a day every week, whether it be a Friday, Saturday, and just put what your bestseller's been that week.
I like the idea of the videos because, and I do agree with you, definitely keep them short and sweet, but because I mean we do click on stories. I must admit I'm more likely to click on you guys' stories, my team, so I can like it and say, oh, I'm reading your story, I like it, well done. But you do click on stories, but if you clicked on it and there was a wee video and it was interesting, you would watch it. Do you know what I mean? And it's short and sweet. And it could just be, oh, wow, that, you know, anybody want to make some extra money for, you know, to pay for Christmas.
Yeah.
There's a wee box here. Let me tell you, it could be anything. And it's not going to be the amount that you do, and you're not going to get slapped with bans. Facebook's already told you how many they allow, which is...
Can I jump in for a minute? Only
yeah,
because,
I can't hear you very well though, Jane.
Okay. Then I'll do my best. I had a look at stories just the same as Kate did, and one of the stories that came up was another network and another networker. She had 6 small videos on her on this one story, 6 plus her own. It was makeup. She was doing a quick makeup demonstration, but she finished it off with an announcement that there was a Zoom or something like that at the end of it. Do you want to join or do you want to message me? So she obviously had a poll in there as well. Interestingly though, instead of just one bar at the top of her story, it was made up of nearly 12 small, like gashes, and her story went on for a long time. It just wasn't there and gone. So I don't know how that was done. Maybe you want to have a look at it, and with additional information, you'd be able to figure it out.
You mean a new general? I think she's meaning all of us as a plural new you.
Yes, I do.
No.
I know what you mean. If it breaks it down into these little 15-second segments. But I mean, if you were to go on and do your video, it would just automatically break it up for you. It gives you a little prompt at the beginning, actually, when you post a video, but I think it might be different if you go on and do it live on your stories. I think it gives you longer that way than it does posting a recorded video.
That's interesting. It does give you slightly longer. I would be careful because, and I didn't mean this badly, some people, when they are doing anything, they go to saturation point. Keep everything in balance, because especially with stories, we're relying on people clicking on them. And if you're just doing bam, 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 would you agree with that? In fact, you actually said that in your training, didn't you, Louise, in different words, really? That if you're sicking people, so it's like have a good variety. Mini dancing. I'm going to do mini dancing. I've got a dancing chihuahua. And if you don't believe me, watch it from a video on YouTube. But I know I said that's a laugh. If I put a wee short video with mini dancing or Cookie when he's having his meltdowns for Kate sort of thing, people love animal videos, they like funny videos, but it's all getting your name, your stories out there, and the business name, the VVMK, your Louise's Little Luxuries, your whatever the name of your shops are, whatever the name of your pages are. It is all to do with spreading the net on Facebook. I just realised it's 10:15 already. I know we started late, but that's just zoomed in. We're doing a lot of zooms at the minute. Zoom your way to success, and it makes you zoom. We are doing a lot at the minute, and the more I do, the more I lose track of time. So I will apologise for that. Has anybody got any more questions? There will be follow up on this, and there'll be more online training and what have you. Anybody got any questions, or if not, anybody got a wee story they want to share, something positive before we go? Tired, Mary Hen? She's got to take it off mute. Oh, no, she's not. I thought you were taking off mute. Anybody? Any questions? Any wee stories?
Yes, I have.
Go on, thank you. Have you got a question?
I've had a good week. Although after Saturday I fell when I was putting my books out. But I picked them up again on Monday and the road was fine. But we've got snow again, so we'll have to wait and see what's happening.
Same here.
I haven't been at work this week, so I'm going back Friday afternoon. So I've got more books ready to go out, see what happens. And depending on how the roads are tomorrow morning, then I'll go out and see if I can drive my car tomorrow, because I haven't driven since last week.
The roads have been bad here as well.
It's not that after falling on Saturday, that's my left hand side and I can't drive.
Oh God.
So I'll just have to wait and see.
So many people. I know somebody that's on crutches for a week because they fell in the ice, and Lee was wishing that somebody was close by because he went in his backside twice, and he was hoping somebody could have took some videos and they could have shared the profit.
My daughter's going in the hospital tomorrow to have an operation on her wrist, but she broke
she fell as well, didn't she?
Oh God.
So she's either going to get a plate in tomorrow or wire.
You need to take care when you're out there. Anybody that's out there and about on the streets and now if it's ice and snow, as I know many of you are with the catalogues, which is really interesting because the first time with the lockdown, we did have some people paused their catalogues. Most people paused the catalogues. This time around, people are kind of carrying on, because we are actually, we know that we are legally allowed to go out, as long as we practice it really, really safe. I will quickly tell Janet's story. Kate did it as well during the first lockdown. If you have a customer base, the catalogues, because some of you are new and don't have a catalogue customer base, but Kate did this and Janet did it. I don't, Janet, well, you may have seen a story in the official group, over £1,000 in sales in one day. Now, the first thing I'm going to say, what other business out there can give you £1,090 odd out of 99 customers?
Yep.
It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. And what Janet did was partially because of the weather and also because she's in Luton, so it's quite high with the COVID. So also because of safety reasons, she phoned the customers that she's got phone, and that's what Kate did as well. That's how Kate broke back into the catalogue.
That's what we did last year.
A quick phone call, that's a lot of phone calls. So she's put the work in, but she said to me today, she said, Lynn, it's pouring rain out there and it's really blowing a gale. And since I've just got 1,100 quid's worth of sales by phoning customers, I'm going to make myself a nice wee cup of tea and have a wee biscuit, and I'm going to phone 54 customers.
Yep.
But I'm excited because, you know, I don't know any other business that can produce the type of sales that Viva M can do. The catalogue side of the business, people are embracing it during the lockdown, which is ironic because at the start of a year ago, nearly a year ago, guys, we didn't know how people would accept it. But in the online side of the business, you know, I'm just so excited that the lockdown's actually forced a lot of people to go online and find out a wee bit more. And it's a really, really, really massive gold mine. So I want somebody to tell me a success story for this week, because I've seen plenty on the groups. And first say thanks very much to Louise, because she's had a lot of stuff. She works and she's doing her own business. She's Zooming with her team and she's taking time out to put the training together. And, you know, and her sponsor let her doing tonight. I'm never going to let this doing that I let you doing in that Zoom. I feel so guilty. But she doesn't have to do that. She puts the time in for the helpers. And I just want to say thanks very much. That was an excellent training. It didn't need slides because you knew it was going to have questions and answers. And you know, last night, I think she was going to say, get lost, Lynn, because she's putting a story and I'm putting a message on the story saying, right, does this help with interaction? And she's just like, ignore Lynn. She's on a frenzy. She's doing her wee manic phase. But thanks very much, Louise. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Louise.
Thank you.
Yes.
Somebody went to say something there, which might have been a question. No? Thanks so much. Right, we've had a great start to the year, Rhinos. Just to remind you of the system, in the future, the second Wednesday, which is this the second or the third Wednesday?
This is the second.
The second, I'm getting myself muddled up now, you know, because it's the beginning of week 3, but that's actually tomorrow. So the first Wednesday we'll have a training. The second Wednesday is going to be opportunity meeting and induction for your new people. Third one, training. The fourth one, welcome, recognition and opportunity. That will be posted into the Rhino group. It has been posted on the newsletter, but what I'll do is I'll post it on separate so you can get it onto your period calendar. Right, thanks very much, everybody. Who is wanting to close? I like to get somebody to close the meeting for me. I think we should get Kate and Cookie. Right,
he's turned his back now. He's still here though. All I want to say is, despite the weather, despite lockdown, despite everything that's going on just now, customers are still buying. A lot of them can't go out. A lot of them won't go out. A lot of them are not comfortable in shops right now, but they are buying. Owen and our team in week 1 of this period, when traditionally, you know, people might think, oh, nobody's going to buy, it's just after Christmas. Owen did £650 worth online in week 1 of this period. during which time Tom and I were snowed in. But we put our first lot of books out on Sunday to pick up on Tuesday. We put 35 books out on Sunday, picked them up yesterday. £356 worth of orders, £10 a book on a catalogue. Customer base, who the customers that we had got permission from during the first lockdown to give them books. They were waiting for books, they were asking for books, they were contacting us saying, when we get a book, that's the first drop of this new catalogue, and the customers absolutely love it. And we're hearing that right across the board. Janet's results, other people in the HQ group results, online in our team as well, absolutely phenomenal. So
first of all, Rick, can I just say well done? Sorry, Kate, I'm not.
Sorry,
I'll let you close it, but I just want to say well done to Owen. That's a phenomenal week one result.
Absolutely brilliant. Yep.
So well done, Owen. Because I know he watches the videos back.
He does. Yep, he does. Absolutely superb. £650. And he's relatively new in the business. He's only been in the business 6-7 months, and that's what he's doing. You know, phenomenal beginning of the month, beginning of the year for him. So it's there for the taking. You know, work around your circumstances, work where you feel safe. I used hand sanitizer between every catalogue on Sunday when I was putting them out. Hand sanitizer between every catalogue, bringing them in. We will now be wearing a mask when we go and do deliveries, and we'll be doing deliveries by arrangement. But you know, as long as we work safely, we are allowed to work with outdoor retail. We're certainly allowed to be working online, and there's a massive demand for what we've got because people can't. There's no pleasure now in going to the shops and browsing through a shop with a mask on, keeping your distance. You know, and at the moment you're not allowed to anyway. It's essential shopping only. So they can look through the catalogue with a cup of tea, they can order what they want. And if you're phoning them to make an arrangement to deliver to them and you know they're on their own, just say, do you need a wee pint of milk in or anything like that? You know, and just pick up wee bits and pieces that you can do for people. And it really comes back to you a millionfold. It really, really does. So have a fantastic, brilliant rest of period one, because it's just absolutely rocking. And we'll see you all next week.
See you next Wednesday.
See you later.
See you next Wednesday.
He said all that without moving his lips.
See you all next Wednesday.
Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thanks very much, Louise.
Bye.
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 See you later. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.